All right. Rom playing Sikkim Soul Beast. Hell yeah, dude. Great Sword Longbow? Yeah, dude. Great Sword Longbow. Demolishes. Rune Leadership. Going to be rotating, doing a ton of damage. Jun Quattro, a.k.a. Z-Heart, he is playing Elixir Hollow. So Elixir X, Demolishes, Rune Leadership. Running what looks like standard, to be honest. Nothing's really changed in this build. Crazy Madness is playing Core Guardian, Core Hammer Guardian, in fact. So, kind of weird because I think that Glacial Hammer got pretty hard nerfed. So, I think Greatsword is actually the one to go for when you're playing Core Guardian now. Shinzero, aka Raisin, is playing what I believe to be Greatsword Hammer Spellbreaker. Strength, Discipline. Yeah, there it is. So, Hammer Greatsword demolishes Rune of Strength. And Mickey Drazy is playing Condition Mirage. So Carrying Amulet, Rune of Adventure, Axe Torch, and Staff on Dueling Illusions and Mirage. Reliable Hospital is playing what I'm assuming is Firebrand Support. Yep, so he's got Rune of the Flock, Menders, Sword, Shield, and Staff. Prototype is playing Scourge. This is on what I can assume is Carry. Oh, Deadshot. It's Deadshot. Oh, so I always do this. So Rune of Balthazar gives you that 10% maximum health, and it makes you look like you're using Carrying Amulet. So yeah, he's using Deadshot, Rune of Balthazar, Staff, Set the Torch on Curse of Sorry, ping Scourge. Proc my passive is playing Sword, Dagger, Thief, Core Thief, Acrobatics, Trickery, Standard, nothing's changed there. DDoS, Tsukiki is playing Power Shiro Rev, nothing different. And Flandre is on what might be Hybrid? So Chaos, Dueling, Mirage, Sage Amulet Hybrid, Rune of Adventure, Axe Torch, and Staff. So, they've kind of gone for this old style meta still, even though I think the meta has changed away from that. I think Rom's team has more Duelist heavy, so that might be why they're losing here. Because obviously, like, the blue team have gone slightly more rotation based. They do have the Thief, they do have the Revenant, and they do have Flandre that can rotate. Obviously, you still have the Firebrand and the Scourge together. Sitting around like one node. Red team, they have the Duelist on the Hollowsmith. They have the Duelist on the Spellbreaker, effectively. And then I suppose with the Mirage, yeah, it can rotate. Similarly to like Flandre. Again, not using the portal. Is Flandre using portal? So yeah, so neither Mirage is actually choosing to play portal this time. And again, that just comes from the patch. Like, it's got a 30-second recharge or 30-second use time on it now. So it's just not worth taking. I suppose that if the red team can like somehow out-sustain the rotational dominance of the blue team, then they would actually come out on top of this. But at the moment, blue team are ahead simply because they do lead with that momentum. So Firebrand and Scourge and Thief in mid defending. Disengage there from the Mirage on Drazy. They're all disengaging towards their close node. Maybe they can try and like stack up, force a team fight, and then outnumber. Thief chasing up onto the Hollowsmith over here. It's so like, so obviously this is the first time that I'm trying to cast a game after just having come back from holiday. And it's so weird because it feels to me like the playstyle of like ATs has changed so much. You don't see the standard spread anymore. And that's kind of weird. Are we going to witness an overheat, baby? Woo! Z-Heart, baby! I'm glad I'm not the only one, man. I've been doing this all day. I've been doing it all day. Thank God, man. And Z-Heart, I think Z-Heart's better than me, so that's good. That's good. So yeah, it's, as I was saying, it seems really hard to me to actually talk about things because it doesn't seem like there's actually as much structure anymore. Firebrand and Scourge obviously still a thing, but weaker than they were before, so hard punished by even a Hollowsmith. A single Hollowsmith can hard punish a Firebrand, which obviously was much harder to pull off beforehand. Flandre is one in the Mirage Mirror matchup. I think that's because Drazy's playing the carrying output and Flandre is running the hybrid output. So Flandre does have more sustain. I think they're running exactly the same in terms of weapons. So Axe Torch Staff and Axe Torch Staff. So yeah, both exactly the same. So well played there by Flandre. Abindu is probably looking to engage a Rom. He's going to use the terrain there to jump down towards Tranquility. That's not up for another 2 minutes, though. So this is just like a sort of a disengage. Okay, now he feels it's safe to go down. Again, remember, Rom is not playing the Soul-based Duelist build. He is running that momentum-based damage build. He wants to be the rotational +1. I don't know how this actually sustains into conditions. Does he really have any, like, method of prevention there with conditions? I suppose he does get condition removal on his heal. Core Guardian has been taken out in rotation towards the far node. Red team have just lost out on Drazy again by the Thief follow-up. I think that he was 1v2'd there by the Scourge as well. Scourge rotating back towards mid. Dude, I'm really surprised that the red team aren't able to do more here. I'm really surprised. Mainly because I thought that, you know, they had a better team. Maybe they're just like not running the correct sort of composition now. Could you show Proto for a sec? Yeah, sure. I mean, they have. Let's look at the comp, right? Rotational damage dealer, sort of a duelist, but not really anymore because, you know, lacking passive S rather, not as sustainable as it was. Rotational damage dealer here, so 2 rotational damage dealers. Raisin is running a more offensive Spellbreaker, so again, it's got like pretty good duel ability, but I think it's not as sustainable as, like, you know, the old build was. But this is what he's always run in the past, and then they have. Another sort of rotational bruiser 1v1, or what, you know, it's kind of like, it's not quite what you would expect from like a rotation comp, I suppose. So yeah, they have, like, you know, node ownership, and then 2 rotation. Whereas, like, I suppose, like, the blue team only have the benefit of having the Firebrand and the Scourge together. Again, that's a really strong duo, but not as strong as it once was. The red team would probably need more damage, like rotational damage. That's maybe if they had like a Revenant instead of the Soul Beast, maybe that would do more, because I feel like Rom is more like sustainable damage, but he's not quite a duelist. I mean, it looks like he just lost the 1v1 into Flandre, so maybe that was the lack of condition clear from Flandre sustain. Red team have picked up stillness, but to be honest, it's not going to be enough. What does the timeline say? Dude, red team have not got more than 1 kill. They've had 1 kill this entire game. They are getting hard farmed by the blue team. I don't really know what to say. I do think it's comp-based. I think, honestly, the blue team comp is just way better. And the game is ending very quickly as well. It's barely been 8 minutes. They have no counter to Signet. I think you're right. I mean, if you look at their comp, what in their comp can actually sustain into the Firebrand Scourge? What can actually apply hard pressure to that duo on a single node? And then, you know, if they've got that momentum from the Thief and the Revenant rotating together, and obviously Flandre winning the 1v1, multiple 1v1s into like 2 different players on the red team, like, it does strike me as, you know, the red team just not really being able to answer to it. Their comp does really suck, unfortunately. They've gone too duelist heavy. Yeah, I know what you mean. I know the red Signet. I know Signet Mercy. I know exactly what you meant. How can a Bindu be here in chat and play the match at the same time? That's not a Bindu. That's a Kiki. Okay. Well, let's fucking hope that this is good. All right. I'm not too certain. Flandre is running Chaos, Sage Amulet, so hybrid. Chaos Straight Line gives a ton of boons. Good bruiser. Abinder's is, or this is actually Sakiki, so Sakiki is playing Demolishes Amulet, Rune of Strength, so this is actually slightly different. This is, so normally you'd run Marauders. Demolishes obviously gives like slightly more output, slightly more sustainability. Rune of Strength, Staff, that's the only other change. Proc my passive, aka Black, is playing Sword Dagger Thief, rotational damage dealer. Prototype is playing Scourge. Again, this is with Deadshot on Rune of Balthazar, and the Reliable Hospital is playing Firebrand support. So that's impairing to the Scourge there. They have just picked off that Firebrand very, very quickly. Thijsken has gone down as well on the blue team. Tramedex may follow here. Does not have Infused Light to switch to, so he has been farmed out there. Prototype is abusing terrain here, which is really, really good. Gets to throw his shades down without really any fear of being hard focused. So that prevents the res there onto Tramedex. Blue team, Fly High is playing the Sword Dagger Thief, again with Infiltrator's Signet. Thijsken is playing Scourge. This is with Deadshot and with Runa Balthazar on Curse of Sorry Ping. He is currently waiting for Hybrid. He doesn't want to push into things alone, so this is why he's waiting outside his base. He's being smart. He's not AFKing. He doesn't want to go in alone and get hard farmed. Boyce is still playing his Sikkim Soul Beast, so this is with Longbow and Greatsword. Does a lot of damage, good mobility, so kind of fits into the current meta of the heavy rotation-based stuff. And then Tramedex, of course, is playing the rotational damage dealer Power Shiro Rev. So both teams pretty mobile, pretty high damage, as we've saw. Like when they had that massive engagement there in the middle, they did lose players on both teams simultaneously due to heavy burst. That's kind of like how this meta is anyway. It's very volatile, and it's kind of sad that what they did was they kind of nerfed sustainability in general across the board. And then they made it so that the damage creep was still there. Like, you can still do a ton of damage, but you can't sustain it as well anymore. So the patch was pretty interesting. So Red Team are still up by 70 points, but that doesn't mean that that's, necessarily in the favor massively of the Red Team. Can we see Reliable Hospital getting the Signet Mercy? He does channel the Signet, and there's the Signet trade. Thijsken has gone down yet again. So Hybrid had already used the Signet Mercy. Thijsken will not be resable this time. However, Prototype is down. What the Okay, that was a huge oversight by the Red Team. They did not focus Thijsken hard enough to make sure that he would be the he would be rallying Prototype. Prototype went down way after Thijsken was already down. So Thijsken actually went down 3 times there in the space of about fucking 45 seconds. That must suck to be Thijsken right now. However, Blue Team are still on top of this. They did have 1 point ticking that entire time. The Thief on the Red Team, he is called Black Magic. I don't know who this is. He is running Roll for Initiative, Shadow Step, Signet Agility, Dagger Storm. Okay, so Flandre has capped the Blue Team close there. And now we're probably going to see a big team fight once again in the mid as they contest over the single node that the Blue Team own. There is obviously 1 point neutralized. Nobody's really looking to play that because that's not what this meta is about. The meta is kind of forcing 2-point play and huge fucking clusterfucks like this. Hybrid Venom and Thijsken are currently abusing terrain over here. Again, that's to prevent themselves from being hard focused. Hybrid is probably going to be going for the Signet. Actually, he doesn't have it for 5 seconds. So Tramedex does go down here. Thijsken is going to be the focus now. They both miss the jump there to the pillar. Again, there's a 2v2. They could probably, with enough of their burst, hard focus down Thijsken or Hybrid, but they need to be watching out for Hybrid. So let's see if Black does have Steel. He does not have Steel to interrupt onto Signet and Mercy. And now the Red Team are forcing the Blue Team back towards their base. Hybrid's down, so there's no res coming for him. There's no Blood Magic trait there for Thijsken. Sakiki jumps directly onto Thijsken as soon as Hybrid goes down, and that is 2 players down for the Blue Team. Tramedex getting hard pressured here again. He's only just respawned. He did use Infused Light. Everybody backed off him. He won't be sustained here. Nothing can sustain him. Red Team are getting the decap there on the only Blue Team node. So Red Team will be taking the huge lead here. Boyce attempting to use terrain here does get himself into the corner to force a lot of the pressure there from the Red Team. So, for example, Sakiki would not be able to jump onto him. Flandre wouldn't be able to jaunt around him. You would not really be able to make anything fucking happen. Especially, obviously, the Thief couldn't even jump on him as well. So it was a nice try, but unfortunately, he did go down. Fly is trying to force players out of this now. So he's not engaging in those team fights. He's rotating around, trying to get decaps where possible. And now with the Red Team Thief on his back, he's not going to be able to do that as easily. Blue Team definitely struggling into this comp, though. Good God, there is a lot going on right now. Okay, so red team trying to sustain this, but you can see that Fly and Tramadex are currently unloading onto Reliable Hospital, aka Chunzu. That's a lot of burst. He is down. Now they need to make sure that they can actually turn this into a solid kill. Otherwise, they just group up and get the res. Fly does go down. Tramadex goes down as well. So now we see that Thijsken's going to follow. Hybrid Venom does not have Signa Mercy. It's already on cooldown. Ouch. Okay, Thijsken uses the Sound Swell in towards the mid, tries to get the decap, does get the decap, however, he and Hybrid Venom are dying as a result of that. Tramadex and Fly now coming out of base as well. Red team picking up the extra 20% damage buff on the Soul Reaper. As I predicted, there is a lot of BM taking place in map chat right now, and it's all one-sided. Blue team aren't even responding to it. Oh dear. Show chat? I don't know if that's a good thing to show, dude. I don't know if I should be showing this. monkaS, dude. Alright, blue team do get prototype down. Reliable Hospital is getting the Signet Mercy. Did not get it. I did not see where he placed that. So that's a monkaS. So Reliable Hospital was guided out there by Flandre. That was a good use of Portal. So we do actually see some Portal play taking place from the Mirage of the red team. Blue team can still win this if they somehow manage to sway back the momentum, but they do look like they're struggling a little bit. They do have ownership over their close node. Flandre looking to get that decap straight away, not giving them any point ownership. Hybrid Venom is now here to contest that. He will not last very long into the Thief and the Mirage pressure. Good use of Chaos Storm there by Flandre to try and get the Daze output onto Hybrid. Axis of Symmetry. This is now a 4v2. Boyce getting the rotation towards mid, trying to get that decap. He is followed by the Scourge of the red team with the red team Thief as well. They can't get that. Red team close does stay neutralized. And, okay, so Sakiki has gone down. Hybrid Venom did go down as well, so this is kind of like a 4v4 at the moment. But if they don't actually secure a Bindo, with Thijsken going down... Okay, they kill Flandre. So Skiki has gone down as well. That's now a 5v3. They could make a rotation now towards mid, maybe try and create some momentum here. Map chat or Riot? You really want to see this? You really want to see this? Here we go. This is Blyat. Hi, Blyat. How's your Mesmer Trama? All okay. Can't wait to see you 1v1 Helix again. Worthless. When Boyce isn't on side. When Note Ven on voice. Oh, not even on voice. Trama absolute garbo. Cheese us with 5v45 comp. And 1 wolf pack. And still lose. Trash. Get spawn camped. I'm sorry for you, boys, but you have to play with this garbage. But at least you can have fun and force memes on everyone and try to exclude us from community. Nice small shade, Thijsken. You're losing to Random Thief I found in solo queue, by the way. Underground Jeweler's not so talkative now, Thijsken, huh? Okay. Okay. Blue team do have double map ownership. Red team have lost Sakiki. Reliable Hospital is down as well, so this is now a 5v3. Prototype has gone down as well, so now the blue team are the ones now swinging it in their favor, getting the spawn camps on the go. Flandre is rotating towards mid. Tramadex needs to get there. Okay, Death Strike used. Herald knockdown. Staff 5. Staff 3 to block the output coming from Flandre there. Shackling Wave. Gets the follow-up by the Death's Judgment. Sorry, Death's Judgment? Fucking Death Strike, even. Does have phase reversal to get in touch with Flandre once again. They have triple node cap. Tramadex needs to get there. Don't give them that shit, Tramadex. Don't give it to him. There we go. And they get it anyway. Fuck. All right, now you may have overcommit. Shit the bed. You've always got Infused Light, baby. Don't worry about it. Okay, uses the Staff 4 to clear a condition. Staff 5 out for the evade frame. All right, so now the blue team have lost some of those nodes. They're going to lose their mid node here as well. unfortunately. So black does get the decap in mid. Red team have reset this, but blue team are still ahead. They don't have anybody dying at the moment. They have this momentum lead still. I think. No, boys. Boys getting resustained there by Hybrid, jumps straight back in. That may have been his undoing. Hybrid Venom is looking to get that res. They all jump up on a Boyce. Nice, they do get the res. Thijsken is down as well. No signal to mercy. Gets interrupted. Thijsken gets stopped. And our Hybrid Venom does go down as well. That is using the Soul Reaper that the red team have picked up. That was a nice attempt at a comeback. They did almost close the gap there. They did gain a bunch of kills in those 3 minutes. But it looks to me like the red team may take this. And there's the 3-node cap there for the red team. Holy shit. That was a bit back and forth. I did really want to see the comeback because I thought it was going to be like a little bit of map chat going on, but rip. Nice try, dudes. Shit. Yikes. Oh, the drama. Show chat again. Oh, dude, this is honestly worse than like the fucking Hotbox trash talk days, dude. It really is. Oh, dude, I'm so fucking hyped. My queues today have been alright. I've had fun playing PvP today. Okay, so Viva la Violet, Mirage, Staff, probably on Hybrid, so Sage Amulet. Yeah, Sage with Rune of Adventure, Axe Torch, Staff, that's standard, it's a bruiser. Larry P playing his Sword Shield build with Elixirs, Elixir B. Inventions? Yep, Inventions, Alchemy, and Hollow. This is more of a duelist role. It sits by itself on a node. He's pushing far, obviously. Illegal Math is playing the Mender's Weaver. This is a duelist as well on Mender's leadership, so he's going to be sat in the middle, contesting into anybody that pushes in. Pretty hard to kill. Has a lot of dodge rolls, a lot of self-healing. Jailer is playing Dagger Shield. Dagger Shield with Greatsword. So this is actually the old build on Trauma War. Still runs Magebane Tether. Even though that got a little bit of a nerf, it's still viable. And he's running Strength Discipline. So yeah, the full Trauma War build. But obviously changed from Sword Shield to Dagger Shield. And then finally they have Luana, who is playing Carrion Amulet. So full condition output on Axe Torch Staff with Rune of Nightmare. So one thing to note is Luana is still using Portal. And fuck, I didn't check the utilities of Vive. So they have at least one portal that's still going to be used. Larry's not going to be able to do this, I don't think. There's too much pressure from the Spellbreaker. Way too much. There's the portal to get Larry out. He made it, and he's out. Nice disengage there from Luana. Good usage of portal. Downside to portal now is obviously now it's on a 30-second cooldown, or 30-second usage, rather. So you used to get a lot longer. I think it was like 60 seconds. So you have to make the plays like more offensively, or at least much quicker. Otherwise, obviously, it just times out and you don't get any usage of it. So that was a good use of it by Luana. Aeon, or Vinid Aeon, so that's obviously not, that's not Aeon as I thought it was Aeon. That is Synod playing Scourge Necromancer. That's probably Deadshot with Balthazar. Yeah, Deadshot, Balthazar, Staff, Set the Torch. Guys are sorry ping, standard. So he's going to be doing teamfight damage. Vampiric Michael is playing Defense Spellbreaker. So with Demolishes, Rune of Earth, Dagger Shield, and Greatsword. So this is actually kind of like the old school build. He does have Shake It Off, he does have Feather of Grace, and he does have Berserker Stance as well. So he's running triple Stunbreak on this build, but does have the resistance output to counter into Luana, which is a good choice. Primal Downstate, that is a Sword Dagger Thief. So a core thief who's going to be doing rotational damage. Looking at +1 players, as he has just pushed into to this Weaver to +1. He'll have to stomp him here so he can get ownership of the node. So yeah, that's pretty standard. That hasn't really changed much. Reliable Hospital obviously is Chunzu playing the Firebrand support. Again, this is probably in pairing to Vinid. He is rotating away from Vinid at the moment. So Synod is by himself. That was a good use of the return to the sorry, that was Spectral Walk, not using Worm. So yeah, they're normally paired together, but obviously not right now. He's gonna make his way in towards that anyway. It's a very, very strong power couple. And then finally you have Sakiki, who is playing Power Shura Rev, again, a rotational damage dealer. So one thing to note, guys, is that the entire meta has kind of shifted away from this like duelist type thing. The meta at the moment is very speedy. It's got a lot of momentum behind it. It's a lot of these like high burst classes. It's a lot of just moving around the map very, very quickly. However, that said, the composition on the blue team, they do have a rotation comp. They do have a Thief. They do have a Revenant. You know, those players are going to be making +1s and doing high burst damage, you know, very, very frequently. But they do have the Duellist on the Spellbreaker, and they do have the node ownership on the Firebrand and Scourge. So they haven't gone like Duellist heavy, but they have got double node ownership almost all the time. They're always going to be contesting 2 nodes. So it's all about what the Thief and the Revenant do together, and you can see right now they're currently contesting into Larry P, who is he's the Sword Shield Hollowsmith. This is the right play for them to make. They're creating a 2v2 on the far node, and that kind of gives the blue team the pressure over the other 2 nodes where they would be dominant anyway. So I think they actually win this matchup anyway because they can punish Larry P. Larry P's already been forced to use Elixir S, I think. I think it's on cooldown. Yep, so I did say it. He doesn't have passive Elixir S anymore. They actually get the stun lock on Ozakiki. Synod has rotated in to try and get that. He's got a Shade underneath the body. It's not going to be enough. Primal Downstate will have to disengage here as well. He's used Steel to get out and get the interrupt on the lockdown that the Spellbreaker was trying to get there. Jailer will die here if he overcommits. He has gone down. Will the blue team be able to get this? That's the rotation there from the Firebrand to come and get that res. They still get the stomp onto Synod. So that was a reset there for Jailer. He did rally off the back of that death, and now he's being chased by the Thief. He does get him down. He's going straight forward, but he's going to get interrupted by Larry P and by the Chaos Storm that gets put down by the Mirage there. So Vive is not playing Portal, by the way. Luana is the only one that's playing Portal. So Luana's going to be the one that's making the strategic plays on the Portal there. The game is relatively close. Blue team definitely getting all the kills in this game. But red team are doing pretty decent at actually rotating around them and, you know, getting those neutrals. And that's kind of what's going to happen because they are the Duellist heavy comp. They have Bruiser, Duellist, actually. So they can all collectively 1v1 and they can all sort of like contest nodes. And you'll see like the blue team are actually stacking up a lot of the time. There's 4 players here in this sort of small vicinity against 3. Luana's getting rezzed here potentially. No, never mind. Vive was going to go for it, but then disengaged straight out. So this is where the red team would obviously make some kind of benefit because they're forcing a lot of the blue players to actually answer to them. Legal Math is still alive somehow. Jesus Christ, he has eventually gone down. Red team are actually going for the beast to try and catch up. This is not really something that I would recommend, but Jailer is obviously aware of where all the players are of the blue team, so he's done that safely. He knew that he was not going to be contested on that, and now he's rotating back mid to hopefully prevent a full cap in the middle, because it's still neutral. Vidideon is here as well. And Luana's here contesting into the... So this is Scourge and Thief. Jailer's here. Goes in with Rampage to try and create some pressure straight away onto the Scourge. Good use of Special Walk there to return to the initial position. So actually baited Jailer down and then jumped away. That's quite unlucky for Jailer. He got the stun lock over the edge and Synod actually fell. Stun lock on shield 4. Full counter, gets procced. Unfortunately, the Mirage has gone down. Red team have just lost 3 players, so they're not going to be able to make this comeback. That said, they do still have their close node that's still in game. Nobody's contesting, nobody's rotated out, but I would expect that Primal Downstate is going to make his way there. Or not. Okay, so they're going for pure momentum base. They're actually looking to contest into Larry, 3v1 him. And possibly get more momentum. So the more players that they get killed in quick succession on respawn, the worse it's going to be for the red team because they're always going to be at a numbers disadvantage. So obviously Luana's just respawned, Jailer has just respawned, so they're kind of like, you know, kind of close to one another. Larry P is still dead and he will be back out in the game in about probably about 20 seconds, and then Vive is now respawning. So they're at least in a 4v5 for another, you know, 15-20 seconds now. Larry P obviously I think he tried to res himself or something, and he for some reason he didn't just let himself die. So blue team will be able to hold ownership of this map for the next god knows how long. They have to wait for Larry to get out, get him back in a node, get him contesting somebody. I wonder if they'll actually be able to get... Okay, so they do... That was a portal play by Luana. Gets the decap in mid. Now we're looking at Henge to see if Spellbreaker into Mirage can actually go in the favor of the Mirage. It should technically work. I think that Vive playing the Sage Amulet build, it's so hybrid. It's got so much self-sustain on the False Oasis. And obviously not using Portal, so they get Illusionary Ambush, which is a method of target clear. That really, really hard pressures a Spellbreaker. So there's the neutral. Red team are kind of back in this. They didn't overcommit on that split. There's a 3v4 going down over here. So that's a Duellist, and Duellist. So that's a Spellbreaker, a Hollowsmith, and a Weaver. They don't have much damage. Holy shit, what's going on? Okay, Illegal Math is stuck underneath. He's being hard pressured. Promenade State is down as well. They get the rally off. He'll get pulled by the Mage Tether. That was the disrupting stab there from Jailer. Switches out to Greatsword, try and keep up with him. And obviously they get Larry P down as well. So the reason that the red team actually folded there was because they didn't have the damage to actually answer to the 4 players from the blue team that were hard pressuring them. Midpoint does stay contested by Luana. Luana's keeping an eye on that. Probably does have Blink to disengage as well. Oh no, just Portal. So drops a Portal right there. Jumps into the Chaos Storm as well for defense. They obviously get Aegis spam from that. Aeon is going down, or Syndic goes down. They're not going to be able to get that stomp. That's the Signet and Mercy res there from the Firebrand. So that's now on cooldown for 90 seconds. Jailer does go down for the overcommittal over the dead body of Vinid Aeon. Illegal Math is just going to be pressuring straight into this node as well. Might be able to get the decap unless Chunzu gets on the node. He does get on the node with 1 second left. So this is going to be held. There's no way that the Firebrand gets pressured by this. They'll be able to out-heal all of the damage that Illegal Math does. The likelihood is probably more so that Chunzu will accidentally walk outside the ring through a dodge roll and possibly hand that over to Illegal Math. All it takes is 1 second, 1 slip up. There it is. And that is the neutral there. So now Illegal Math is doing his job. 2 duelists in a single area. I don't know how I feel about that. Now they're contested by the... So it's the Firebrand and Scourge into double duelist. You don't want double duelist on a single node. Viva's gone down to the 3v2. So again, this is the rotation of the Thief and the Revenant pushing into this. That's the hard pressure of a rotation comp. And this is kind of what the meta is all about. The red team is still doing a good job. They're actually getting themselves neutral nodes. But the blue team will be picking up the blue team close right now. And this will probably stay neutral because it's double duelist into Firebrand Scourge. They have a lot of sustain, but Jailer is getting hard pressured by the corruption there from Vinid Aeon. He's going to be forced to disengage. They just don't have the damage here to answer to this. This is going surprisingly well in the favor of the red team right now. Larry P is still alive, regardless of the fact that the blue team had like 3 players here contesting in. Vive +1s into the Spellbreaker. They are getting a lot of damage here onto the Spellbreaker of the blue team. Aeon has gone down for blue as well, which is obviously really important. They need to make sure they get this kill before Reliable Hospital gets the rest here. Signet Mercy is on full cooldown. Did he miss it? Maybe he missed it, or maybe he just kept channeling and it just didn't have time. That's so unfortunate. Okay, so now he's going to rotate back mid. Mid was decapped there, so red team do not have any points ticking. There is 3 minutes left on the clock, 66 points in this as well. Vampiric Michael has gone down as well, so that was the +1 obviously done by Vive. Vive going for Chieftain right here to try and again... Oh, dude, they can equalize here. So they have a downstate. They have the Spellbreaker that's going to be timing out. Larry P coming in to help make sure that this does get taken for the red team. There we go. That's the pickup. They have double node ownership, contest in mid, so this is remaining neutral. That's a good play from Illegal Math. Now watch the Thief here. The Thief is making the rotation towards the far node to get immediate decap. He'd be smart not to full cap this because he needs to go in and get back to his team so that they don't lose this next fight. Red team have a lot of their players pushed in on fire as well. Larry P is low. Doesn't have healing turret coming up. Could get hard pressured by the Spellbreaker. 1 stun lock and he's fucked. Okay, so he's already used Elixir U. He's got stabbed. There is also Svarnir in play. So blue team may push into this to ensure that they do hold some form of lead, but they need to try and win one of these team fights. Vive is pushing this node as well, so he's going to get the full cap. They've got Larry P, who's not moving away from this. He wants to hold this node. He wants to make sure they keep ticking. This is double node pickup for red team. That's going to be contested by Vampiric Michael as well. Wait, is he not? So they're kind of having this like Spellbreaker on Spellbreaker battle. Are they all going to push in towards their close node now? That's probably not the play. I think what they want to do is contest this far node and make sure they get it. Vive, don't do it. I really hope he doesn't do it. Yeah, actually, it's kind of a good play, actually, but it's slow. It is a slow play. Larry P has gone down on his close node because of the +1 there from the Thief into the Spellbreaker. So blue team are going to pick up this close node. And they do get it. So Vive has gone and got that. Illegal Math is obviously still looking after that node as well. This is all they need. They need one node ownership. Revenant and Thief and Necro are pushing into this 3v2 in a moment. So these guys really have to do well at sustaining this. Otherwise, the game is in the blue team's hand. They've got 80 seconds. Jada is in mid as well, looking to get that neutral. He does get it. So again, this slows down the game for the blue team once more. Two players hard pressuring the Weaver. They've got to get the stomp on the Weaver ASAP. Vive could go down as well. If they get this decap... Okay, so blue team are the only team on the map right now ticking. They would be smart to try and pick this up. Are they all rotating mid? They're all rotating mid to make sure that there's nothing that happens to the blue team here. Oh my god, the red team need 1 kill, or well, actually 2 kills and 1 tick. Larry P is getting the neutral. He's looking for the cap. He needs to be contested. They only need 10 seconds to win this game. 10 seconds and 1 kill. Vive is going to go down as well. He's being bled out by Vinideon's shade underneath his body. Legal Math obviously contesting that, wants to keep it neutral. There's 34 seconds left in this. Red team are about to pick this up. They get a kill on Vampiric Michael, and Primal Downstate is here using his evade, his Dagger Storm to try and contest this, try and draw it out. There's 22 seconds left in this. Primal Downstate is going to go down. He's forced to disengage. The red team, all they need is to contest this. Holy shit. They have the contest on Larry P. There's 12 seconds. Holy shit. This is down to the mark, dude. There's no way that... I was going to say there's no way blue team can win now, but that is fucking poggers, dude. That's a really close game. Well fucking played. Holy shit. That was really good. Oh, yeah, dude. So, Luana has won a monthly AT. Has Jayla? I can't remember. But I know Luana's won a monthly AT, and all these guys have won a monthly AT. So you've got Boyce, who is on his Axe Sword Warhorn build. Luana's not going to be showing their gizmo above their head, by the way, because when you're playing Mesmer, if you have the gizmo above your head, it kind of gives away where you are. It immediately tells somebody which clone you are. It's a bit annoying. They should probably change that and put it on all of the clones somehow. I don't know how they're going to do that. Boyce is definitely tryharding, dude. All right, so Luana, once again, on the Carry and Amulet build with Rune of Nightmare, Staff Axe Torch, Illusions, Dueling, Mirage. So again, a Bruiser. Jayla is still playing the Tramwar build with Dagger Shield. Illegal Math, again, on the Sword Dagger Weaver, the Duellist. Larry P on his Sword Shield build as well. So once again, this is a Duelist build, looking at 1BX. And then Vive is on the Bruiser build again on the Hybrid. So Sage Amulet, hybrid damage output of conditions and power with a lot of self-sustain from the healing power for False Oasis. So this team is very, very Bruiser Duelist based. They, again, have like 2 Bruisers and 3 Duelists. Blue team, they have Thijsken, who's playing Holosmith, Elixir X Holo. Chul's Alchemy does have Kinetic Battery and Static Discharge. And that is with Rune of the Herald, Demolishes, Agility, and Energy. Tramadex on Power Shiro Rev, so Staff, Sword, Sword. Invocation, Devastation. And, yep. Fly is a Sword Dagger Thief, so this is a rotational +1 as well. Boyce on the Axe Sword, Warhorn, Doliak, Moa, Lightning Reflexes, or no, sorry, Quickening Zephyr. Soul Beast, so this is a Duelist. Obviously, this is a Duelist into Duelist matchup. I think this is in favor for Larry with his build, because the Sword Shield build actually does very, very well into this Soul Beast. And then finally, you have Hybrid, who is playing Fire and Support. And this isn't necessarily in pairing with anybody, okay? They don't have a Scourge in this matchup. They're not running like a team fight. They just have a rotational support, which is Hybrid. Kind of makes sense considering, you know, this is a rotation meta. So they have a Duelist on Thijsken. They have rotation on Tramadex, rotation on Fly, Duelist on Boyce, and roaming support on Hybrid. So he's kind of going to be contesting nodes like his right now, and then he'll be supporting anybody that rotates into him. So he does have a ton of self-sustain, but he's not necessarily paired with anybody in particular. Jailer has gone down off node, getting the stomp there from Tramadex. Or okay, they just immediately cleave him out. I guess that was to... Was that to try and get Thijsken up, or did they use the... They didn't use Signet. Okay. Larry P obviously dead off node as well, so he lost the duel into Boyce. There's the +1 coming in from Vive as well, and Luana simultaneously. So Boyce is creating this 1vx. Tramadex has rotated in as well as the +1. They get Vive Violet. So now that's going to be left to bleed out, and Luana has been forced to portal out back towards mid. There was somebody waiting. That was really good play there by Thijsken, who was sat on the portal, and now Luana is dead as well. So that's both Mirages dead on the red team. Red team are in 3v5, and blue team have double node ownership, which does give them the opportunity to come back. They will get a flat 10 points from the 2 kills, which will put them very close. Then obviously that's going to tick up as well over the next 10 seconds or so and give them the lead. Jailer and Fly contesting over the sword. Fly was probably pushing into that to create some form of momentum. Again, the additional pressure of the 20% damage buff from that is pretty integral. And because they got 2 kills, Fly made a good choice to go for that. They had the double node ownership as well. He wasn't really needed anywhere else. As long as he keeps Jailer here, I would say that Fly is making the correct call. But if he dies, well, he's fucked. He's obviously lost his passive there as well. Gets the cloak and dagger. He doesn't want to give this to Jailer either, obviously. Fails the sword too. This might give Jailer time to get it. And now the red team have the buff. Unfortunately for Fly, he was cucked there because he was doing it from too far away, so it didn't connect and it put him into the wall. So red team will have a pretty heavy damage buff here across the board. Tramadex looking to pressure Larry as well. Larry disengages by tossing his Elixir S. Gets himself in stealth. They now engage on the Tramadex. There's his infused light, so now everyone's gonna possibly give up. Wait, why did... I guess Larry was trying to use the slam there, the holographic shockwave, to punish Fly, who was trying to cleave through onto Vive. That's so close to getting that. Larry doesn't have Elixir S passive. Oh, the overcommittal. He's gonna die for this. He is gonna die. See, if he had the passive Elixir S there, obviously, which is being removed, that would have paid off. They did get Fly dead in the process. He rallies off of the kill there on the Vive, and now Tramadex is going to disengage. Luana pushing in to try and get that res, though, so I think they're looking to get the debate. Oh, no, Tramadex did actually go down from the autos to Larry, so now Luana's going to contest into this 1v2. Has the potential to win this. Tramadex does not have Infuse. Oh, wait, yes, he does. He does. It would just come off cooldown. And now, obviously, with the +1 coming in from Thijsken, this will not happen for Luana. Luana will get fucking hard pressured there by the follow-up from Fly. And that's going to force a rotation from these 3 players towards mid. They're going to get the decap pretty easily and then contest into the likes of Larry P, who's hanging around, doesn't really know what to do. Oh, he's going to go straight for illegal math to get towards Luana and get the res. That's going to force all blue team members to react to this and prevent that res. They get the downstate through Luana. So now Larry P is forced to disengage with illegal math. 2 duelists. They got pretty decent sustainability, but Larry P is abusing terrain here, so he doesn't get hard pressured by Thijsken. As long as he forces 2 people to respond to him, he's doing his job. Now, what this is going to force is a 1v1 from Larry through Thijsken, so these are both duelists. He misses the Corona Burst, so he has no stab. Gets the knockdown from Thijsken, forces the Elixir Resp. Now, Thijsken is definitely in the lead right now because he's already forced out the Elixir S active. But one thing to note is that Larry P does have, obviously, the shield, and that will grant him pressure over Thijsken. Thijsken's running Elixir X as well, right? Yeah, so he's got Rampage. That's the knockdown. Follow-up straight out. Uses the stab that he gained from Corona Burst to get the knockdown. Actually, no, he had stab and Rampage. That's right. So he didn't need Corona Burst. So they get the solid knockdown. He obviously got the knockdown through Rampage 5, the Stomp. And followed up with the Rifle 4. That was really, really good play. Fly has already picked up the sword as well. So blue team and now the team with the additional 20% damage. Blue team still have the side node ownership, obviously, off that win there into Larry P. And now Vive is rotating in to try and get that decap. That's going to force Thijsken to answer to this as the duelist into the Bruiser. He doesn't have a ton of condition removal, but does get the immediate +1 there from Fly. So this will make quick work of Vive. He's already very hard pressure, doesn't have False Oasis, has used all of his defensive kit. And there we go. And the auto stomp happens because of the Soul Reaper that Fly has picked up. So not only do you get 20% damage, you do get the auto stomp. So, okay, you want to see these builds? This is Thijsken's traits. Okay. And Larry P, he's running Alchemy Inventions, Sword Shield, Cleansing Energy, Leadership, and Demolishes. And he's using Elixir B. So Larry P has been using Sword Shield for a very long time, okay? He's pretty much the only Holosmith that I know uses this religiously. I've seen it more and more in play at the moment because people feel that the... since Elixir S passive was removed, Holosmith has lost a lot of its kite ability and sustainability. So the use of shield definitely does extend that, and you do get additional CC, and you get a lot of blocking ability beyond your photon wall. That said, Larry does obviously use Elixir B. It gets massive retaliation uptime and a ton of might stacking as well. If he does it right, then he can get around 23, 24 might stack almost permanently. So he does a lot of damage, but he's also very sustainable as well. Luana has just died into this 2v2. So Tramodex and Boyce are obviously going to contest into Larry. If, by chance, Larry does manage to get Tramodex down here, that would have been a potential to get Luana up. It's not going to pay off. Jailer's here to try and relieve some pressure. They get the punishment onto Tramodex. Luana needs to try and keep themselves alive here. Boyce going for the cleave. They do get the rally, luckily for Tramodex. Infused Light is up. Riposting Shadows is available as well. Tramodex doesn't want to engage on this because he knows he can't. If he tries, he's going to get picked off by Larry, so he's just forced to wait. Gets the Enchanting Daggers. Immediately eats the knockdown from Larry P's Prime Light Beam, which was, I think it was intended for Jailer. For Boyce, but Boyce was in line with Tramodex. Infused Light used by Tramodex, so he's now full heal. And he's straight back at square one. The blue team have taken this pretty strongly. But it was very close for a while. But red team just have not really managed to get any kills since the first 2 minutes of the match. Actually, no, that's a lie. They did get a couple of kills in the 5th minute. And I think that's when it was close for a crossover. But, yeah, once again, obviously, the blue team, they do have the rotation-based comp. They do have the Revenant and the Thief that can work together. And the only thing that the red team have is Duellists and Bruisers. So if they don't win their 1v1s and they're always being +1 by the likes of Fly and Tramodex in their rotations, their composition is not going to pay off. Jailer's gone down off point. Larry P trying to get the res on Luana. It's not going to work. Using the shield 4 there to extend his life, but that's it. That's an additional 10 points coming out from Larry and Jailer. And then they've got a point ticking as well. It's under contest by Luana. By Vive. Vive is now being forced to answer the 1v1 to Boyce. Boyce literally said, why? They get the pick up in mid. Blue team will AFK on this node to get the win. Proof you don't need a meme Raj to win. True. But again, it's more so because I think the meta shifted to this rotation-based thing. And I think a Thief and a Revenant together is pretty strong. Deathfire's team seems like a bit of a pug team, if I'm honest. They got Firebrand Scourge, Hollow, double rotation. Could be a good comp. Okay. We'll take a look at this one because I think this is possibly going to be the closest game of all. Out of all the ones that are currently going on at the moment. Okay, so Faces Foster is playing Marauder, Rune of Infiltration, Sword, Greatsword. So this is a Power Shatter build. Mikataka is playing Power Shatter Rev, Standard. Illegal Math, obviously playing the Duelist Weaver build with Sword Dagger. We have a Core Guardian on Hongyang. Greatsword or... Okay, he's gone Hammer. And then finally we have Ferios, who is playing what looks like hybrid Staff Axe Torch. Yep, so Sage Amulet, Rune of Adventure. On blue team, we have rotational damage dealer Power Shiro Rev, Dezak, who is playing Elixir Hollowsmith with Elixir X, I believe. Yep, so he's got Power Wrench, Kinetic Battery, Takedown Rounds, opting not to go with the lock-on here. I would have said that it's probably worthwhile taking, considering they have Foster and they have Ferios, both of which are going to be abusing some like stealth elements, I believe. Actually, maybe not Foster. No, I don't think Foster's going to be running anything. He doesn't have any stealth potential. But this hybrid build should do. Yeah, so on the Torch 4, you can go in stealth. And I think that's it. I think that's all he's got in his utils, yeah. So I guess it would come in handy if he was dueling into the hybrid build, but whatever. Isladol is obviously the Scourge. 26 is 1-2, so dead. Oh, he's actually running Blood Magic. Oh, shit, I haven't seen this build this meta. So that's Scepter, Torch, Staff. Getting tons of soul feeling on the Blood Magic synergy there, so he's running less than a lot of blood. So for res traits, transfusion, so he pulls in bodies, and then he has Vampiric Presence for self-sustain on lifesteal. They have a Firebrand support, not choosing to run Signet of Mercy, which is kind of weird. I would say that if you're gonna run, oh wait, he's running Water as well. This is outdated. So Water isn't run anymore. You run Flock or Monk. Rune of Water got nerfed in the last, like, rune changes, and it's just really not that good to run anymore. So, yeah. Anyway, it's just kind of weird to see the Scourge and the Firebrand so disconnected. Again, they are a strong pairing. So it's a bit silly for him not to be running with his duo there. He's not going to make it back in time to get a res either. And then finally, they have a Deadeye Thief who's going to be rotating as well. Full Berserk, Rifle, Dagger, Pistol. So, again, wants to be spending a lot of time in stealth. Silent Scope, Malicious Intent. Yeah, it's pretty much standard. He's got the quickness on engagement as well. Revealed Training, so he does extra damage. Is he seriously self-healing right now? Nobody's watching this guy? What the fuck? Okay, and one thing to note is he does have Binding Shadow, so he wants to be knocking people down. He's going to use it now. And gets the interrupt, the knockdown. He's just dodge rolling in fucking place. Here comes the the spike attempt from Foster. He gets straight into stealth by dodge rolling. That's a good use of the wall and disengaging with the... oh, what is that thing called? Death Retreat. So Death Retreat through the smoke wall to get into stealth. They solidified the kill on the Revenant anyway. Kind of want to see what Foster can do with this build. He does get might stacking from the Sword 5. He's disengaging that because obviously he needs to react to the Skyhammer. Gets a net shot off from Dezak, who just keeps him in place. He dropped the portal so he can actually bring other people in. That's great. That's really, really good use of the portal. I think he dropped the portal onto the midpoint, and that's where they've just come out from. Can I just confirm that? The portal's gone already. Fuck me. All right, so I cannot confirm that, but I believe they just came from mid. I think there was a 2v1 going on in the mid, and that's where they've just come from. So that was really, really good use by Foster there. Again, they changed this. If you're not aware, it only has like 30 seconds of use time now. So you have to make sure that you use it in good time. Otherwise, it just goes straight on cooldown. You can't use it for another like 70 seconds. C node, neutral, B node, still in blue team's favor, but red team are going to get a decap here for sure. You've got the Firebrand currently bleeding out, trying to keep himself alive here. This is interesting, unless he thinks that he's going to get a res from somebody. Foster's just watching his body. Arrogant Whirlwind's going to die here. He's got too much pressure. Can't get back into stealth. Doesn't have a dodge roll to use. There we go. So he does get picked off, and Hong Yang actually wasted Hammer 2 there, or did he cancel it? Why? What? What? Why did he just randomly cast Ring of Water? What? Okay, Judge's Intervention on the Hammer 2. Didn't have Focus 5 prepped either, so had actually no spike damage, but I guess he gets to use the Focus 5 as a bit of a defensive utility here. Faces Foster and the Core Guardian chasing after the Revenant. He has already used Infused Light, I believe, so he doesn't have anything to answer to that. Foster going straight for the cap on C now. Blue team overcommitting onto their close node. Looks like Dezak is going to go down. Scourge has died already. Dezak does go down. They're going to leave him to bleed. Oh my god, dude. They've got so many fucking downstates on the blue team. They're kind of getting, like, wasted here. The game is incredibly close, but I can't actually tell where the kills are actually related to what team. Red team possibly going to get a 3 cap. They get a triple cap here, so this is going to be a huge lead unless the blue team can rotate. But again, they've got 2 players on downstate or, you know, on respawn. They need to be careful not to overcommit here. Firebrand obviously contesting B, even though there's no players on it for him to contest. Good use of knockdown, gets the neutral. But they're about to get massively outnumbered. Illegal Math has gone down. He's in Windfall. Dude, Revenant. What? Okay, he's prioritizing the decap. It probably would have been better for him to do that, to do the engagement, because Dezak was coming in to get that anyway. They did not secure the kill on Illegal Math. He was rezzed. That would have been changed entirely by that Revenant if he'd just actually moved into that and secured it. That would have been, back in their favor. So now the Firebrand has died in mid to the pressure. Another Scourge is being forced to answer to Foster. Foster will win into the Scourge as well because of the spike damage that he has. Good use of the sword days. You have to remember this guy is running Blood Magic Scourge as well. So he does have a lot of self-sustain. Firebrand has now come to answer to this, so Faceless Foster would be dumb to stick around. Although it's a good thing for him to keep 2 people here. Because as long as he's here pressuring the Scourge, the Firebrand has to really be here to answer to it. That's a lot of spike damage for free. Here comes Mika, the Revenant. So now this is a 2v2. They're not going to win this if the Revenant tanks all this damage. Hongyang here as well. That is the core Guardian burst. Remember that the Firebrand on the blue team does not have Signet of Mercy. He's not running it, so he would not be able to secure this. The Firebrand will die here as he reinvests. He's in a 3v1. He doesn't have the sustain for this. Surely. Why is the Revenant not going on? Secure the kill, Mika! Oh my god, okay. Well, he's rotating out now to create this, Well, that's actually a really dumb rotation because Illegal Math is already dead. Unless Dezak dies here. Wait, don't do it, dude. Don't. No, he's gonna win. He's gonna win this 1v2. No. He gets the tornado from the Elixir X. That's really questionable. Really questionable. He comes in literally as the Duellist dies. He pushes it into a 1v2, and actually, if the other player had stuck around, they would have killed the Revenant here easily. Red team's still holding 2 nodes. Blue team are going to pick up their close node, I suppose, but one of them's got to stick around to hold it. No, Dezak. All right, now there's a 1v2 into Faceless Foster. He does not have a lot of health and sustain here. Use the portal to get the fuck out. I suppose, yeah, probably a good idea, actually. Red team contesting into the blue team Rev. Now, one thing to note is that the blue team, they do have a single Duelist on Dezak. They do have a node contest from the Firebrand and the Scourge. And then they have 2 rotational damage dealers, which is the Deadeye and the Revenant. The red team, they're pretty much all rotation, I think, because you could say that this is a 1v1 class, this is a 1v1 class, and this is Revenant. And the Mesmers aren't staying on the nodes by themselves. So it's basically one Duelist, rotation, and then 1v1s that are constantly in movement. So they're using their Mesmers as rotational damage dealers. They're not using them as bruisers in a node contest. But then again, I think that's honestly why they're winning this game at the moment. They have a lot of burst damage to actually counter the Scourge and the Firebrand sustainability. And the Scourge doesn't really do that much damage because it's running Blood Magic. It has good sustainability, but its damage output is so minimal. And considering Firebrand got a pretty big nerf recently, it's actually not something you want to play around with. Like, you want to be running Deadshot. You want to be doing as much damage as possible because you will get picked off by burst from the likes of a Revenant, Core Guardian, Thief, and it will happen so quickly. You see, like, as soon as the Scourge goes down, it's pretty much all on that Firebrand. And if he doesn't get the Rev, then he's fucked. That was the leap on the Weaver ultimate, I believe. Or I could have sworn he got lifted in the air. Maybe I misread that. I know that there's 2 methods of doing that, right? But anyway, you see how they won that 2v2? So again, that's pretty detrimental to the blue team. I would say that the Scourge and the Firebrand are actually, like, pretty much the best 2v2 you want to be in. It's weird to me that a Weaver actually won that. But again, I would put that down to the fact that Blood Magic on the Scourge is really, really underwhelming. It's just, it doesn't really do any damage. Food for thought. So yeah, red team are pretty much like taking the lead here, and they have been for, at least fucking 6 minutes. Blue team haven't really been able to make any kills in that time, but you can see how many kills the red team have. So this explains their lead. And again, this is obviously because of their, they're creating that momentum and they're staying on top of it. A 4v2 in mid. They're going to kill both of them. See what I mean about how they're just rotating and they're just staying on top of the momentum? This is exactly what you can do. When you're literally farming players on the blue team, you can stack players up like this and just create that that constant momentum. Oh my god, he missed the jump. I am really curious as to why he's not running Signet and Mercy. It's pretty much one of the most broken things on Firebrand. Like, if you don't run Signet and Mercy, you have no ability to reset the momentum. Because obviously, for example, say if the red team in their rotations manage to completely annihilate a Scourge, you know, with all their burst, and then the Firebrand just resets it by Signet and Mercying, throw up stab from your elite, or from fucking F3 or whatever, right? I don't even know which. This is the one that grants stab. Yeah, grants stab and swiftness. Yeah, I knew that. So yeah, like he can use his elite, use like one of his protection and Aegis like uptime, just get like loads of Aegis stacking, and then just, you know, use the Signet Mercy, and then it completely resets. But the fact that he's not running it is just, I don't get it. It doesn't synergize with the blood magic either, because like they can basically keep each other alive all the time by using the blood magic trait line, and then they're just not on the same page. That's really weird. But I think that's a pug team anyway. Have you heard anything about the new hybrid rev played by Tenebrae with Mace Axe Sword Shield? Yes, I played into it. It's pretty strong actually. It's annoying, to say the least. He's killed me with it. He has out-sustained me with it. It definitely wastes your time a lot. It's really, really fucking annoying. Okay, so Thijsken still playing the Blood Magic build. Sage Amulet, Rune of Nightmare, yada yada yada. Hybrid is obviously the Firebrand support. Boyce is on Soul Beast again, Axe Axe with Warhorn. Tramodex playing Power Share of Rev Rotational +1, and Fly is playing Sword Dagger Thief. So this is core. Reliable Hospital, aka Chunzu, is playing Firebrand support. Flandre is on Hybrid, I want to say. So Chaos for the boon uptime, Sage Amulet hybrid output, tons of healing. Skiki on the Power Share of Rev Rotational +1. Maverick on the Sword Dagger Thief. And then we have... Oh, wait. He has Signet of Agility. I thought for a minute there he may have had Infiltrators as well as Roll for Initiative, but he doesn't. And then finally you have Synod, who is on Scourge. So just picked off, did get the res from the Signet from the Firebrand there. They're looking to reset this now, so Hybrid still has his Signet of Mercy up, so if they do manage to pressure Thijsken out, then it's one thing for the red team to actually be up. So here he goes, he's down, channeling, trying to use terrain here so they could not interrupt. He jumped up so that the steel would not hit from the thief, but the thief did still have steel up. That was really good use by Chunzu there. Blue team are getting heavy pressured. Fly has gone down, so Kiki's going to burst him right out. Does not want to waste any time. Flandre currently kiting away from Boyce. Boyce can keep up with him. No immediate disengage. Okay, so yeah, red team do currently still have ownership, or did have ownership over 2 nodes. That's just gone as I started my sentence. Tramodex probably would want to push in towards Flandre. Flandre is already low. He's not really getting much coverage up here. There's the +1 pushing towards Flandre, force Flandre away from the node. Misses the staff 5. Now the blue team is forcing this this sort of like 5v5 outside their node. This is a bit of a clusterfuck. Although the teams are relatively even matched, so that it's like a mirror comp. Thijsken using Sandspell really, really effectively there to get the disengage. Synod has gone down. They're looking to get the... That was an attempt at the Signet of Mercy. Did you see that from Reliable Hospital? He did cast it, but they had Synod so low that it actually did not get him rezzed. It got him from about 10% up to about 90%. It's not a guaranteed res. It's just a massive amount of flat healing. So that was really, really good burn there. They just kept him really, really low. Made sure that the Signet of Mercy would not work. Hybrid is contesting into the Thief. They do get Chunzu down. They're bleeding him out. Flandre portaling back mid to contest after capping. Good use of portal. Okay, and disengages immediately when faced with a 1v4. So again, a good use of portal on the return. Fly pushing in to try and get the decap. Sorry, Maverick pushing in to try and get the decap here into Boyce. There's a 3v4 with Traumadex here as well. So they're again trying to utilize this rotation. They want this rotational pressure. As long as the blue team overcommit here and they don't actually turn it into anything, it's going to be good for the red team because obviously they're forcing a 4v3. It depends how long they sustain it. Hybrid does have Signet of Mercy up once again, so Thijsken is pretty secure. He does have Pulsing Stab as well, so he knows he can get the Signet of Mercy off. Blue team would be smart to wait for Hybrid not to have Stab though. If he does start channeling it when Thijsken does go down, watch the Thief. He does not have Steel to actually immediately interrupt that either. Hard pressuring Fly. Don't waste the... I really hope that they don't waste the Steel so that they can watch it. Thijsken and Hybrid have gone down, which is obviously very, very important for the blue team. Immediate disengage to try and get some more pressure across the map. They still have the red team close node for them. That's double node ticking, so they're going to catch up here. They want to make sure that they get the decap here in mid as well. One of them needs to commit. They're ignoring mid in the favor of actually getting some more kills. I probably would have gone straight for that decap if I was... Okay, so Flandre has gone for that. They've got the neutral. They did get the decap on the red team close as well, so side node ownership has just been ripped away from the blue team, but they do still have the one node ticking. Traumadex has gone down as well, so this is pretty good for the continuation of the pressure by the blue team. Reliable Hospital and Synod pushing in. So, oh, and they do have the Thief here as well. They don't want to overcommit here. Who's going to cap that node? They're leaving Chunzu to get the cap, okay? Mid still neutral. Trying to fuck up Boyce. That's a Thief and a Revenant on this. That's pretty hard for a Soul Beast to sustain. All he can do really is... That's a really good use of terrain here as well. He's forcing them to fight him in close quarters. He does have Axe 5 coming up as well. He will burn through anybody who's here. There it is. Skiki forced to use Infused Light. They're not fighting on the Infuse. There it is. It's just been used. Fly's given up that chase as well. This is a very, very even game. I'd be surprised if it's not these two guys facing it, or two teams facing up against each other in the monthly. Because obviously they're two monthly teams that have contested against one another before. And I believe Flandre's team won last time. Synod has gone down. Chunzu does cast the Signet. They do get Synod up. Flandre is still waiting to be rezzed, but it's going to be too late. Synod has gone down once again. Chunzu's going to be punished whilst trying to get that res as well. So once again, blue team have lost their main damage dealers and they've lost their bruiser. So this is a 5v2 for the foreseeable future. Skiki hard pressured 3v1 in mid. And now all you've got left is Maverick, who's just going to be waiting around. If he pushes for the decap, Boyce is going to be there to answer to it. So good rotation there by Boyce. And Traumadex is here as well, so he's going to come and pressure the Thief away. Now red team are going to get triple cap. So they've got Fly over here picking up their close node. They have contest over the blue team close. That's looking to be decapped once again by Maverick. And there's mid ownership as well from the Firebrand and the Scourge. So yeah, red team did have triple cap. Flandre's obviously made the rotation there to try and get that back. Used the portal straight mid. Really good rotation potential from Flandre, but again, Traumadex was here to try and answer that, but instead they're opting to go for the 5v4 on the far node. Once again, they're looking to have that clusterfuck engage. Flandre is now pushing into this as well after getting the decap, so that's both nodes neutralized. What they want to try and get is the decap here as well to try and prevent the red team from getting any future point gain whilst this engagement is happening. Synod has gone down once again. No Signet of Mercy for the blue team Firebrand. That's now forced to 5v4. Flandre is looking to be the next target. They do have Fly on them as well. And that's the punishment from shackling away from the Revenant. And now Chunzu is the next target. Hard pressured by that just follow-up. Red team are just picking their targets and just isolating them one after the other. So both Sakiki and Maverick were aware that they were losing that team fight. They've pushed straight into the far node to get that decap. They're staying together so that they know if somebody pushes in, they can 2v1 them. But red team will be picking up both the far and the mid node for them. Wait, they didn't even go for the mid cap. They're just forcing this 3v2. I'm not sure. I guess it is the smart play because they can just keep the pressure without anybody able to heal. Skihi trying to get away, but doesn't have Infused Light. Gonna get picked off now. That's sustain out. So now this is, again, they're kind of like staying on top of this via momentum. It's not even like the points that are really doing it for them now. They've seen their possible lead just by keeping on top of them, by killing them over and over again. So now that Skiki's obviously down, this is a 5v4. Thief is by... Never mind. Thief is not by himself. He's got a 3v1 into Boyce. His Tramodex for the resustain. Still a 2v3. Nobody contesting mid, but it is empty. Flandre might push for this. Fly could win into the 1v1 into Flandre, but probably not worth his time. So he's going to push in towards his team and actually make sure that they have a better team fight. This will be a 4v4. It's going to be a 5v4 now with the addition of Fly. Synod is obviously the main target. Does get hard pressured. Primal down state is being picked off by conditions that are just ticking out. Chunzu does go down whilst trying to actually get that Signet of Mercy off once again. And the red team are now going to stay on top of this just by keeping that momentum. That's really, really smart. So whilst they were doing that, Skiki was obviously on respawn. He's now rotated mid. He's going to get picked off by that 4v1. There's nothing he can do. So the only way that the blue team can really come back from this is to wait for the reset. So obviously, Synod has just come out, right? He's got to wait for his Firebrand. He kind of needs to sacrifice those 10 seconds because he's going to get picked off, right? Flandre is pushing into this 1v2. Has a potential to win this, obviously, with a ton of confusion and just condition uptime. Depends how well Flandre plays it. Gets the follow-up from the Thief. All right, so now Flandre is adding to that. So once again, it's a 5v4. And it's because they're just so staggered. So now the blue team have reset. They do have 4 players. But because Flandre has gone down, it's just forcing that 4v5. I mean, Fly isn't even opting to come and make this a 4v5. So this is still a 4v4, actually. Synod has gone down in the 4v4. I believe the Signet of Mercy did not go through. It got interrupted. And it's, yeah, this is done. This game is done. I don't see them coming back from this. That's a triple cap. Maverick's down. No res potential. Chunzu's just forced himself in on the Merciful Intervention. Doesn't have a disengage. He'll get hard pressured by the 4v1. Synod is here to try and answer that as well. They're not going to win a 4v2 here. Not with the pressure coming out of Tramodex and from Fly. There's no way. Synod, he's dead now. Uses the sound spell for the disengage. They follow up with all the fucking teleports they have. That's it. So yeah, I mean, I'd say the downfall of the blue team is simply because they've just kind of like... The red team have forced them into this 4v5 over and over again. They don't go straight for the node ownership. Even when they had the potential, they ran straight through that neutral node in the mid. They pushed straight far, created a 3v2, made sure that they got those 2 players on respawn, and just kept rolling with it. They've just kept rolling with it the entire game. Really good use of the momentum meta. It was a good game. GG. We'll give this one some airtime. Do you have the legend? No, I don't. All right, so we have Greysword Core Guardian. We have a Sword Dagger Thief. We have a Soul Beast. Like Duellist Soul Beast. We got Power Shiver Rev. And we have a standard Spellbreaker. So this is actually using Sword Dagger. Is it Sword? No, it's fucking Dagger Shield. Sorry. So yeah, they've got double Duellist with the 3 rotational damage dealers. Same comp as before. Mesmer is not OP, is playing Trauma War. Greatsword, probably Sword Shield, but could also be running Dagger. Okay, yeah, Sword Shield. Jaw say I'm high level. Is playing, looks like Hybrid Shatter. So this is Sage Amulet, Rune of Adventure, Axe Torch, and Staff. This is more of a bruising +1. Well, it can be a +1, but it's more of a bruiser. Messi is playing what? Core Guardian? So you've got Sword Focus and Greatsword running Valkyrie Amulet with Rune of the Link. So yeah, this is a Greatsword rotational +1. Belzed is playing Power Shiver Rev, and then Pew Pew Druid is playing Soul Beast. So again, a Duellist. So they've got double Duellist, sort of a 1v1 class, rotational +1 and rotational +1. So they probably have the better comp over the red team, but red team are out-sustaining them at the moment. The blue team just need to get some actual momentum underway. So now they actually do have that. They have got a stomp onto the red team Spellbreaker. So now both of them could work together to kill Unhinged and go and get that decap. Don't leave them with that cap, dude. It's all about momentum on this map. When you have a momentum comp as well. Soul Beast getting hard pressured. Has already used Plasma as well. Belzed is going to follow up, though. If he gets knocked down here, he's fucked. He does have Infused Light up, though. So he debated it. Eats the damage. If I were him, I would swap weapons and go back in. Never mind, he does go down. Pew Pew Druid is actually under pressure now as well from the red team. So you see, the blue team actually, they did make something happen. They did pick up both side node, but then actually they full commit into the mid as well. So they've lost 2 players in the middle for seemingly nothing. Because obviously Pew Pew Druid is going to go down here, right? Belzed has gone down already. So even though they got the 2 side nodes, they should have just stayed away from mid. They didn't need to go in there. And now somehow they're still holding this waterfall node, even though there was a 2v2 going on. Unhinged has actually gone straight back out. He might rotate back in to try and help the Spellbreaker. Black Aki coming in as well to provide some pressure. And what do we have? We have a 2v1 over here. So yeah, Mesmer's not OP. It's playing Spellbreaker, obviously. Tramor does get hard cucked by the rotational Core Guardian. And that's the Soul Beast. The Soul Beast is now going to take that node back into its entirety, and then they're going to push in towards mid. 3v3 about to happen, but it is a 3v2 in the favor of the blue team. Black Aki has come in. Spellbreaker is about to get fucked. That's a 4v3 now. Why are they not pressuring the obvious classes? Infused Light is on cooldown for Black Aki now as well. He's trying to disengage, but he's got too many players on him. That's the Revenant and the Mirage. Meanwhile, Unhinged is doing his job. Unhinged has gone straight for that decap and full cap. He does have it. So that's actually 3 node spread for the blue team. Blue team really need to make something happen with this momentum. They have just effectively shut down 3 players. Because who's going to go down now? That's the full counter. Follow up. He's got to die here. There we go. He dies on the stairs. So they get the decap in the mid. They have got the decap over the far node, which is going to now have the Soul Beast. Soul Beast just picked up Plasma, I think. Or was it Feathers? It might have been something shit because he hasn't got the boons. So actually, this is very much so in the favor of the Spellbreaker right now. Miko will be able to hold this. He does have the rotation of the +1 coming in. However, all of the red team are now coming back out of their base, and they need to get ready to kite. Messi is going to be the obvious target. He is the squishiest of them all. Belzed is now overcommit, and he's going to follow up. He's going to be the next one. He does not have Infused Light to use. Wait, what? That was, okay, never mind. That was a visual bug. He was on Assassins, and he'd used Enchanting Daggers. That bug needs to get fixed, dude. But now you see the red team are going to use that momentum. They're going to be able to make that play because they did get Messi down and they've got the Spellbreaker down. So what they're going to get is the decap over that node, and then they're going to push in the mid and they're going to take that as well. However, we can see the Soul Beast did go down in the mid. He's getting hard bled here, but he could actually self-res with Lick Wounds. Here it is. He's giving it up. And they're not even picking up on it. What are you doing? It's letting it happen? I don't know how I feel about that. Belzed getting engaged on by the Sword Dagger Thief, followed up by the Revenant. You see, meanwhile, they actually have to distract themselves with this fucking downstate body. It's fucking bullshit. And that was really good roam by Jawgeous on high level because the red team warrior was pushing into this to try and contest it and get the decap. He did actually manage to get the decap. He's full capping it right now. And now red team have double node ownership yet again. But you see, like, blue team is staying on top of their momentum right now, though, which is good because now Zerg actually, he just dodge rolled out of his renewed focus and then did not get the return on his F1 to F2, F3. What are you doing? You don't dodge roll out of renewed focus. You don't get your recast, dude. That's the whole point of using renewed focus. What was that? Oh my god. Anyway, so yeah, Soul Beast into in the Spellbreaker, actually doing pretty well as the Spellbreaker to not get hard pressured by that. Belzer does come in as the +1, gets immediately cucked in CC. Force the rotation away, get the decap. All right, they get the decap. So now it's neutral anyway, so now we can he can just leave. He doesn't need to stick around because obviously now nothing is ticking for either team. However, somebody is coming out of red team, so they need to be careful. Unhinged pushing towards the +1. Here we go. So now Miko needs to push for, like, terrain. He needs to kite. He can't really stay on the node. There's no point in him staying on the node either because he doesn't own it. So, normally, this kind of investment, right, would actually only be viable if you owned the node. So him staying on the node there was actually more detrimental to his survivability. He could have jumped up here. He could have, like... So like, behind the point, there's multiple areas of terrain. He could have jumped up here. He could have jumped up here. He could have jumped onto here. Like, he could have jumped up this jumping puzzle and stayed on a no-port spot. He can actually jump there, like, onto that pile and prevent any steals. He didn't do that, and instead he just, like, stayed on a neutral node. There was no point on him actually staying on that neutral node, because he just died. Okay, so Farios is pushing for the decap, and it looks to me like Unhinged actually got the decap onto the waterfall node, which is going to be contested by the Spellbreaker here. The Spellbreaker will take the full cap as well. Blue team are winning mid as well, which is great. Jawgeous does go down. Now they're going to be able to have the 3v2 in the mid. They should obviously focus the Spellbreaker. I only said that because I saw him use full counter and he didn't have any method of answering to it. They did passively manage to do a bunch of damage to the Thief. They did force his passive out. It's on cooldown now for 90 seconds. So, Miko needs to not overinvest here. So the Thief has gone down. He is safe in being here. Nobody's going to be rotating. Oh, wait, no. You do actually see that the Core Guardian has respawned and he's straight away coming for that decap. So this forces the blue team to actually respond to that. So instead of actually defending what they own, they push straight far. And now... Okay, so now Miko's going back to try and contest that. And he should actually do relatively well contesting that. Soul Beast has remained behind in order to defend that. He's now leaving, which I wouldn't really recommend. Belzet has gone down. They do actually get the reset. I mean, this would have been my priority target. I would have just chased after him. Because his resustain is more detrimental to the longevity of this Mirage. Because now he's going to get 2v1, potentially. Or they're just ignoring that. What's... Wait, so Miko's actually getting hard pressured by the Core Guardian. Shut up. He's running Scepter as well. Not like this, dude. Why Rampage? Wait, what? That is definitely a matchup you should be winning that, Miko. Because you can negate all of his engagement just with full counter. And as a result, it looks like blue team have been taken from behind with rusty blades. They are fucked. Red team are getting map control here, so now they're all going to pressure in towards the Mirage here, who is already abusing terrain, which is great. Actually, no, it was the Spellbreaker that was abusing terrain. It was actually just followed up by the Mirage. And now they have full map control. Mirage hard pressured, gets distortion. Chaos Storm doesn't stay in it. Gets Illusionary Ambush. Torch 4. Prestige actually used. Re-engaging, which is dangerous as fuck, but he does get the kill. Can use False Oasis. Fuck, doesn't get the False Oasis off, dude. And that would have been a potential 1v2. He's obviously going to get the rally onto the Spellbreaker. They're going to leave him to bleed out. And this is where the red team take the lead again. Spellbreaker contesting the 1v1 into Black Aki. Jawgeous is pushing in with Messi behind. They're playing against different players. They're just like kind of investing on different players. So one thing I will say that's different is that Who does seemingly pay attention to his node when it's under contest, and I think that Miko is a little bit slower to the mark answering to that. Infused Light is ready to be used on Black Aki. Blue team are trying to put it back onto them, though. Okay, Black Aki has gone down to that pressure. Blue team Soul Beast is one, so that's Soul Beast into Soul Beast. So Unhinged is actually coming in to try and, like... I don't understand that. That was a very strange method of attack there. trying to prevent the kill. I'm not sure that blue team are even aware that if they don't actually get the decap here, they're going to get hard cucked. So, all right, they did get the decap they needed. They will get ownership over the mid node, and they do have ownership over the far node coming as well. Close node is neutral, which is fine. Soul Beast should do well into the core guard. So mid node has been picked up. This node should be defended. People should be here helping him out, but I'm not sure that the I don't think the Spellbreaker is a good +1. I think what you want to do is like hard pressure. Get on that node, dudes. You need to get that node and hold it. Keep it neutral. Now one hinges here. It's a 3v2. And this is kind of bad because now it's going to open up everything else on the map because they're going to create momentum off this. So Spellbreaker has gone down as the +1. Mirage is obviously dying into the 1v3. Black Haki's going down to the passive torment damage, but he's going to rally anyway. But now this obviously leaves him up to be a 3v4 from the blue team into the red. They need the decap. Red team obviously going to get that decap as well, so because of the numbers advantage, they can do that. And there's the decap over the mid. So now the red team do have, you know, dominance again over the game. I mean, this game is close, but it's not necessarily because things were done right. You know what I mean? It's actually got like a bunch of question marks in some places. I definitely thought that they were going to let that happen. Then I was like, wait, what the fuck? They're actually going to give up the decap of the node? But obviously not. They just have to die there. They knock him off the... So yeah, one thing I would say is that when a node is neutral, it's actually better just to kite. Like if it already exists as neutral, do not try to defend it. There's no point. If you own the node, then obviously try and stay on it for as long as possible. And then if you down it, but then you're going to be straight back in the game anyway.